Good morning, everyone. How y'all doing? It's Friday, Friday Thoughts. And this Friday Thoughts is probably a little bit more exciting for most people than others. Meaning that, yes, it will talk about Kamen Rider. In fact, that's going to be pretty much the focus. It's going to be short and sweet because today I have to pick up someone from the airport and we're just having a bit of a shorter day and there's still a lot of orders to do, still a lot of work to be done here. So we got to make sure we get everything ready for our UPS man, and we have more, and we actually had to finish the downloading of the new adult title. So we're kind of a little bit trying to get things done fast on this Friday. So let's go into it now. So talking about the Kamen Rider movies, yes, we could finally make the official announcement that we are back and in full blown production on it. What does that mean, John? Well, if you guys know the history of everything that was going on with it, we announced the title back in 2021. It was, I believe, December or something. Just to get back into it, it's Toei. I think most people know that Kamen Rider is Toei, so I don't think that's any big mystery to anyone. But what it was that prior to that, we had did a package with them. We have a long history with Toei. We did a big package with them of Zebra Man and all that stuff. So we finished all that package. And then what happened was, and that included Kiter, by the way. And then what happened was we kind of did another package with them, which was going to be hair extension. It was going to also be Sky High, and it was supposed to be even Yo-Yo Cop was in there, I believe. But what happened was Sky High, they had some issues with it where they shouldn't have licensed it. And then with Yo-Yo Cop, they also again licensed it to me, and they had issues where whoever I thought it was Buena Vista, whatever company did it in the United States decided they wanted to reissue it, and they didn't know that they couldn't license it because they thought that company didn't have first rights. So it kind of got all messed up. So eventually we wound up doing hair extension. Now during that time, we're always talking to them, and what happened was we were talking to them about actually other stuff like some of the exploitation stuff we did in the past. But one thing that came up, and this you could thank a Twitter person, I don't have his handle here, was the Kamen Rider movies. We had it on the list, and one thing a lot of publishers look for is that they look for the transfers already being done. There's no mystery out there. When the transfer is done, it's a really slam dunk release, because what happens is Japan did all the work. They already paid the money. They already put it out on Blu-ray there. So you're going to have a really good, pristine transfer. You don't have to worry about the fans complaining. You don't have to worry about that, oh my God, it's going to look worse or something like that. Suddenly you do all the work and someone says, hey, there's a better release somewhere else. Someone else has better materials or that kind of thing. So what happened was the transfer was already done and it was on their list. The person told me, like, those films, John, they're really big. They go, Shin, Zo, and Jay, everyone has been waiting for those films. And then there's also First and Next. So I said, well, which ones? They go, oh, those first three. Everyone wants those three. And then I went back to them, and yeah, I could see why they're in limbo. Let's just say they weren't cheap. They definitely have a pretty big, let's just say, high expectations in Japan on them and what they're worth and stuff like that. And once they came back with the prices and all that, I was kind of like, wow, I don't know. But the person kept pushing me that, no, it's really popular. I did some of my own research and stuff, and I did see how the other Kamen Rider stuff did. By the way, I don't know if that Kamen Rider, the TV series, or Bandai or Toei, but it probably is all part of the Toei world, but whoever represents international. But in any case, we kind of had the, we were looking at those movies, and then the other deal kind of like we were only able to really salvage hair extension out of it. So we said, you know what, let's get the Kamen Rider movies. So we were like, great, let's do that. We signed the deal, everything went through, and I sent you guys, I told you guys, hey, it's coming, that kind of thing. I wanted to see the reaction because honestly, this is a big commitment for us. So I was surprised. I mean, people were blown away. I mean, I was blown away at the reaction by it. So I hadn't seen that in a long time. So we were really happy about that. And then I was like, okay, let's get going. We have a release schedule. We're not a huge company, you know that, and we have to release things in a certain order, and we have to get things paid. We don't live off of a credit line or something. We have to, as they say, eat what you kill. So we were kind of going one title at a time, and now it was ready to do the Kamen Rider. So I was about to pay for that. And what then happened was the company said, you know what? They said, we have these other films, Doom Megalopolis. And they said, hey, why don't you look at that? And they go, you did well with the animation. Why don't you do the other one? And we were like, okay, that sounds like a pretty good idea. So we licensed that. And we knew that the first movie would do pretty well, and the second one, and there was a dub, and it was never released before the second. So we did it, and then we said, okay, let's pay for the Kamen Riders, and let's get them in. And the guy said, well, the people over there said, listen, we need you to pay the Doomed first. It's not our stuff. We rep it for someone. Please take care of that first. And we're like, oh, God. All right. And they weren't cheap either. They weren't crazy expensive, but they weren't cheap. Toei is, they're one of the three major houses out there. You got Toei, Toho, and Shochiku. They're like the theatrical companies. They own the theaters out there. So anything they do is going to be pretty big. So we were kind of like, all right. So we did it. That put off our releases. So then we finally got the two out. And they've done well. I got no complaints with them. They're continuing to sell. They should be pretty easy. Again, those were already, the transfers were done. No real work had to be done except for subtitles. On the first one, we did have to put the dub in for Doom Megalopolis, the first movie. So then what happened was we said, okay, now we could get to the Kamen Riders. And then what happens is the flood and the fire. And we had Anime NJ going. So we were like, okay, that put that off for a little while. And finally we got past that. And we're like, okay, let's pay for those three movies. Which, by the way, when we did the package, when you do with Toei, you have to do a package. We also got First and Next. But we did it in a way where we said we're going to release these first three, then do First and Next. And what happened was, time has passed, and then the company comes back and says, listen, you really should pay for all five, and then we could deliver all five at once. And that was not in the budget. We said, listen, we planned it this way. We need to do it. After a little going back and forth, we were able to do it, and we finally were able to get the actual masters and get things going, or at least put the order in, I should say. So we made the payment just the other day, and they confirmed it. And the order now is in for those first three films of Shin, Zo, and Jay. And they're going to get those done. It's basically, that's pretty easy because of, again, they already did the work. It takes about 2 to 4 weeks. We'll get it over here, and that. Now, here's the other news. Why it's going to take a little bit longer to get those transfers done is because of not the movies. We were able to license World. Now, World, the reason we were able to license it, again, you can thank that Twitter person. I'll try to find his handle somewhere. But he told me, John, because we were thinking about extras and boxes and all this kind of thing. But I was kind of like, what can we put on there? Every time I was talking to Toei about a poster, about this, everything was more and more money. They just, we got to add this, we got to add this, we got to add that. So we were just going nuts after a while. So what happened was the guy said, well, World would be a big addition to it, and it's on the box set, I believe. So it did cost me a little bit extra money, not a crazy amount, but it did cost a little bit extra money. But I can confirm that World will be on the box set. So basically what we're looking at right now is we're trying to do a configuration where you're going to have all three films plus World. And it'll be in a box set. I don't know how many discs it'll be. We may give one disc to each film, or we may do it where maybe two on a disc, but you'll be able to get all the films, and there won't be a crazy amount of extras. People are bringing up the Sega CD, and there was a dub once of something on it, and there's just no way, it took this long to do this. You really don't want to go back now, start asking for all these other extras and do all this other stuff. It was hard enough to get World, and I think that'll be a great addition to it. And we're going to do it strictly as a box set. So what'll happen is we'll do it as a box set, and I don't know the price just yet. It'll be a subtitle only release, and it should come out pretty fast. We do need to get it out pretty fast because, this title is not cheap for us. So we kind of need to get that done. In addition to that, we'll probably put an O-ring on it, or we will put, or probably a slipcase. It'll look nice. We'll try to do something nice, and we'll try to convince them, or something on a poster of each or something, but we'll try to make it look nice. And I do think the quality, again, all the transfers are done. The only one that's not done is World. World, they said, we're the first company to get it overseas. Nobody has been able, or nobody requested it. No one was able to license it. So we will have World, but that's going to take, like I said, a little bit extra for them to do the transfer of that. I don't know what will be the quality. I'm sure it's Toei. It's going to look pretty damn good. So that'll be coming with it. Keep an eye out. Also, by the way, after we do the box, what like a lot of publishing companies are doing now, maybe later on down the road, we will do then the singles. Probably like discounted singles or something like that. And they won't include World. It'll be something just, cheap, just, case and sleeve, and that's it. And we'll do it something like that. So just so you guys understand, that's probably going to be the configuration. As far as when it's going to come out, we will try to get them out soon. The investment in it and everything so we want to get them out by the summer. Again, most places it's a 3-month turnaround in terms of just release date and all that stuff. So the earliest would be the summer. Now, as far as first and next goes, that'll be the next, the next set. So basically, those will be coming down on probably towards the end of the year. So what'll happen is then you will have it right before the Christmas time, November time, and there'll be all 5 movies out. You'll be able to pick them up. It's really for us going to be a Kamen Rider year.